What does summertime represent to you? Barbecues, beaches, gardens, and swimming pools? Or blowouts that don't last, chlorine, sweat, bugs, and sunburns? In this video, we're going to go over the unique effects heat and the sun has on your hair, and the simple things you can do to avoid common summertime damage. The sun can be so healing and energizing, especially for skin with a lot of natural protective melanin, but at the same time, in excess, can have the potential of causing a lot of damage. Let's talk about the positives first. As we all know, in the summer months, the sun heats up the surface of the earth and everything on it. That also includes our hair and scalp. The warm weather creates an ideal environment for our scalp because it helps keep our sebum in a more liquefied state, so it can slide down our hair strands more easily. You may have to help the sebum out a bit by scrunching and preening, but overall your hair in the summer months has the potential of seriously thriving. Also, I'm sure that most of you have heard that, like plants, our hair grows faster in the summer. If you've noticed this about yourself, you're not going crazy. There may be more truth to this than you think. Here's a link to a video that goes over this seasonal pattern. As far as science has discovered for now, there are two types of sun radiation that reaches us here on Earth: long-wave ultraviolet A, or UVA, and short-wave ultraviolet B, or UVB. I distinguish the two because they affect our scalp and hair follicles differently. UVB waves affect the epidermis layer of your skin. If we take a closer look, the epidermis layer of your scalp is made up of about 5 layers of squamous or scale-like epithelial cells. These cells are constantly regenerating themselves. As the surface layer, which is the skin we can see, sheds off, new cells in the basal layer are forming. Under normal conditions, this consistent process is so synchronized that is virtually unnoticeable to the human eye. Now, when your scalp is exposed to UVB radiation from the sun, it can burn a layer or layers of your epidermis. Initially, this causes the surface of your scalp to harden, which not only temporarily blocks sebum and sweat production, it also interrupts growth of your hair. In order to heal itself, your shedding and regenerating process goes into hyperdrive. This throws off your scalp's pH, leaving your scalp and your hair follicles more susceptible to infections. UVA waves penetrate deeper into your dermis layer, where your hair follicle system is located. Over time, UVA waves fry the cells located in this area. Hair follicles are really just specialized skin cells, so regular exposure to the sun causes your hair follicles to shrink. As your hair follicles shrink, your hair grows out thinner, weaker, and slower. When it comes to UV damage, if you have dark skin and/or dark, thick, kinky, curly hair, consider yourself extremely lucky. Dark, thicker hair types do a great job at shielding your scalp from UV radiation exposure. It's like an advanced, natural, melanin-rich hat. So your hair is receiving the majority of the UV rays. This can, of course, damage your hair, but it helps you avoid cancer. Here's a list of things you can do to protect your hair and scalp from the damaging effects of UV rays. Swimming pools are really popular in the summer. In fact, according to the Association of Pool and Spa Professionals, there's 10.4 million residential and about 300,000 public swimming pools in the United States. So chlorine is an important topic to talk about. The use of chlorine is so popular because it's a powerful bleaching agent that handles 3 main jobs to keep swimming pools clean. It kills bacteria and germs, deters the growth of algae, and oxidizes sweat and body oil floating around from swimmers, giving the pool a consistent crystal clear look. Apart from chlorine being a potential carcinogen, it poses a great risk to your hair and scalp due to its oxidative qualities. To help you understand, think of oxidation as a process of disintegrating or eating away at an organic matter like bacteria cells in the pool, as well as your skin cells and the protein cells your hair strands are made of. Not only can it bleach your hair, this alkaline chemical starts by eating away at the oil, sebum, and sweat barrier on your hair strands, then continues to eat away at the protein fibers. Your hair strand is a dead fiber, so it doesn't have the ability to repair itself like your skin does. So it's a lot easier to see the immediate damage right away. That's why after you swim, your hair always looks incredibly dry and brittle. Most of the damage chlorine does to your hair and skin happens while you're in the pool. Once you get out, the remaining residue continues to absorb. So the solution is twofold. One that prevents or at least slows down the oxidation process while you swim, as well as stops the chemical from continuing to absorb after you get out the pool. Here are some helpful tips you can do before and after swimming in a chlorinated pool. Keeping your hair completely covered is the best way of avoiding exposure altogether. But just in case the chlorinated water still manages to sneak under your cap, coating your hair with product will create somewhat of a barrier. After swimming, coating your hair with a vitamin C and water mixture is a much safer natural alternative for effectively neutralizing chlorine from your hair than the traditional chlorine removal shampoos. Measurements are up to you. Just make sure the vitamin C powder is completely dissolved before you use it. One last thing. If you're going on vacation and you know you're going to be in a pool or an ocean consistently, the best thing to do to our hair is to create a stronger stretch by installing braids or twists. Here are a few links to videos that will get you up to speed on how to safely include braids in your hair regimen and why it's so important to stretch your hair. When kinky hair gets wet and dries from chlorine or salt water, it shrinks up a lot and can become fragile and matted. Braids are great because they force your hair to stay stretched even though it's constantly getting wet and dry. This eliminates any risk of matting and breakage. They're also great because they make it a lot easier to neutralize, wash, and re-moisturize your hair after swimming. You have better access to your scalp without bothering your hair strands, so you can easily wash and condition your hair more often after a swim. From watching this video, it's clear that a great summertime hair regimen is one that prevents, protects, and reverses the two major risk factors associated with summer: UV radiation from the sun and exposure to the toxin chlorine used in pools. If you're located in an area where summer is all year round, this video can hopefully help you discover and fix weaknesses in your hair regimen. I hope this video was helpful. As always, thanks for watching. See you in the next video.